Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, May 9th. I'm Leslie Flowers, and as you come into this live, you'll hear some music. Let us know where you're calling in from. And today is a 45-minute lesson on the depths of imagination. So a little traveling music for you as you come in. Let me know you're here, and I'm very happy to be back. So here we go. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Hi, Christy. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of the people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I've watched them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so happy to be here. Come right on in. This is 45 minutes. I assume we are live over on LinkedIn. Let me just see, make sure. Well, obviously, Christy is here. We're also on YouTube. All right. If you even still shows live at the broadcast, that was so interesting. 2 weeks. And I see that there's a whole bunch of people coming in. So, hey, Carolyn. Hey, everybody. So glad you're here. Happy to see you. Happy to be here. And the song, It's a Wonderful World. And I wish I saw all the, it's so interesting how they don't show these things. And I see you over on LinkedIn, Tracy, and hi, Tracy. After the broadcast, and refresh the page and see if it updates. Well, I can update here without any problem, but I can't really update. And so I'm not seeing the comments, which doesn't make me happy at all. And this is important to me today. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll explain why. Okay? Ready, everybody? Carolyn, I'm glad you're here. I can peek over to LinkedIn and see that Nicole is here. Thank you, Nicole. And Tracy is here. And of course, Carolyn. So we are good to go. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. So today is Imagination, the workshop of the mind. And I want to talk to you just a little bit about me and what's been going on. So I've had a wake-up call. A lot of people are speaking about the separation of higher consciousness and a different dimension, if you will, a different way of living, which I love. And today's subject is about imagination. But there's something, oh, there you are, Nicole. Thank you, Carolyn. You missed me. I missed you too. I wondered, first of all, maybe it's good that there aren't a lot of comments yet. So first of all, I've been avoiding something for a long time, and maybe this is something you've avoided too. I don't know. But what I've realized is that there are stages in our life, and you've heard this before. And by the way, this is my 60s hair, and you'll see why it's like this right now. Anyway, I spent a lot of time, if you look at January as birth, and well, the end and the beginning, and spring is birth, and summer is growing and youth, and fall is living life, and winter is the end. So I've been playing for a long time in summer and fall, avoiding winter. And so 2 weeks ago, yesterday, I got a wake-up call from the universe. Now, you all know that I totally believe that we're 100% responsible for our results. And while extenuating circumstances, medical, etc., certainly could have had something to do with what happened with me 2 weeks ago at 10 a.m. on Thursday, I can tell you that it was the best wake-up call and the least difficult to deal with. At that time, I had a stroke in my right eye, and I'll never be able to see clearly out of my right eye again, or at all. The main systems in our body, our spine, our nervous system, our brain, and our eyes, the retina. And the wake-up call was, I've not been living in the winter of my life, not appreciating where I am, trying to be that younger girl, right? And certainly last summer having a real ball with the possibility of a RADA and going back to 17 again, and, all that crazy, wonderful stuff, which many of you joined with me. But what I know now is that what happened to me was so minimal, but just enough for me to realize that it's time to live in the winter and to embrace winter, and not to avoid it, but to embrace it, not trying to be any other season than this season. So, of course, over the last 2 weeks, I've been in and out of every doctor's office that you can imagine. And I know, Carolyn, you have actually been through this. And John, so glad you're here. And Ashif, thank you for being here. One thing I will tell you, once I realized it, that I was responsible, because my life hasn't always been kindness and the Leslie that you know. There were many years when I was maybe more unkind than kind. As I evolved over almost 80 years, never stopped studying, never stopped learning. So finally the universe said, okay, Leslie, money where your mouth is, please. Watch this. And that happened. Now, there were no side effects. There's no cause. So I choose to believe that this minimal obstacle was the best sign that the universe could have given me. It could have been 100 times worse. And right away, I didn't resist it. I realized, okay, well, I can just walk right through this. My first thought was, well, I can't read audiobooks anymore, and I can't do these shows anymore, and I can't edit content anymore, and I can't write anymore. That was my fear. The fear of criticism and judgment, which disappeared in an instant. As soon as I realized, when I say an instant, a couple of days, I think Nicole mentioned to me that wasn't true. But it didn't take long for me to realize, well, none of that was true. And I noticed over the last few days, I keep saying, in your mind's eye, What's going on for you? That phrase kept coming up, and there was only one. So I don't know you guys, but this is where I am now. And what I want to do is something new. I don't want to go leaving 15 years of developing how you can set and achieve a goal and have 500 results as proof that the deep study I've done can give you a life of wealth, health, and happiness if you're ready and willing. So before long, I'll start a new series. This is my plan, which is the 12 principles of achievement, which I've always planned to be a book because no one's ever written about this in one place. So what I intend to do is over that 12-week period, document everything I share with you with each one of the principles and whip it into a book so everyone will have it. So I don't see as well. My makeup is a little wonky. You know what? But who cares, right? So let me just say hello to all of you. Look who's here, Nicole. Yes, we will. We'll enjoy winter together. I've been 17 twice now. I'm ready to be my regular age. Hi, Jeremy. Thank you so much. And by the way, would you send me a friend request? I can't invite you because I don't see us as first connections. I thought we took care of that, but let's do it. And thanks for being here. Thank you, Carolyn. I know you will. And you started the walk before me. So you absolutely know where I am. Thank you, Lay. Lay is out in California and she's broken through into education with using art as part of learning. So incredible. Integrate art. Please check in with her. And just so you know, Nicole is a publisher, Guiding Brilliant Writers LLC. And here is my friend Anjan Banerjee. Yes. Well, listen, in India, did they have winters like this? I shows you what I know. You must. What makeup? Thank you. You're so sweet. Okay. So, those of you who are here, you know me. And those who are listening afterward, you'll get to know me a little better. Hi, Mariana. Hope you're feeling better. Ashif, so glad you're here from Toronto. Thank you. Thank you for that. So that's what I'm going to do. You're welcome, Lay. There's so many of you. Tracy is our, she's smart about the art of war. She teaches that, but she also knows AI and she also knows audio work. So absolutely get to know her. And I intend to get to know Jeremy much more now that we're going to be connections. All right. I think that's got it. Christy Williams is a good friend and a big supporter of the work I do. And I'm in always deep gratitude for those of you who repost, do one little thing to help keep this in front of people. And now that you know, hi, Christy, what I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to end the winter without your knowing what I know. And I'm not sure what I was saving it for. So I guess I'm saving it for you. All right. So shall we begin? Let me see if I can on this. Okay, so I'm having a little difficulty seeing. Plus, you should know that my nails have gotten long. So not only can I only see out of one eye, although it looks like both are working and they both pretend to, they appear to be working, but they're not. One is and one isn't, right? But my nails are too long. So when I go to type, you know how that is, ladies. So I got to modify my work environment. All right. We are at 10:15. We've got 30 minutes to talk about imagination. It is the workshop of the mind. If you look at what children do, what you did when you were a little girl and a little boy, when you wanted that new bicycle, the particular one that a friend has, or that was in a catalog, or that you saw on a commercial on Saturday morning in between cartoons, you noticed instantly, you visualized it on the screen of your mind, and it gave you joy. Well, that's the magic in visualization. You see, the graphic image that you pull up using imagination on the screen of your mind has trapped in it the way you felt, or the cellular amplitude of vibration. Now, this works for good things and not so good things. So, part of the reason that we have our fears that are so strong is because every time we think about doing something we failed at, it all comes back, the picture comes back, and the vibration is very low. It doesn't feel good. So, it's just as powerful on the faith side. The problem is we have 6 fears, which you've heard me talk about. But look, they are enemies, and our conscious awareness and the things that I can share with you will outwit them, particularly in the beginning when you get a new idea and your imagination is going like crazy, like with a child. But the belief, your self-worth says, well, I failed at that before. And that's true. And every time you've thought about it over the decades, over the years, it further embeds faith in those fears. So this work is about understanding how all of this works so that you can intentionally focus your imagination and your visualization on good things, whether it's a goal, whether it's to smile at people in one day, whether it's to imagine yourself pulling into a drive-through for snacks and paying for the next person's food, no matter what it costs, and then watching through your rear view mirror when they get the news. This is the kind of driving of your cellular vibration that connects with the universe. And I'm going to show you how this works today. I've shown you many times. You will have to hear it a lot of different times from a lot of different people because we're all saying the same thing. We just have a different way of articulating it, don't we? So you're going to get light bulb moments. And if it's confusing and you don't like it, forget about it, move on to the next thing. I'd love for you to ask me any questions that you have based on what I'm going to share with you about imagination. It's going to get a little deep. And keep in mind that what I'm sharing with you is not just Think and Grow Rich, because I've brought in my own work over the last 17 years. So all the visualization and all of the things over and above that I share with you, how the mind works, etc., is not in Think and Grow Rich. But I can apply it, right, with my work to those principles and with the stories and the concepts so that you get the best benefit, so that you get those light bulb moments quickly, hopefully quickly. Hello, MD. So glad you're here. Oh, thank you, Ann John. You are so kind. And oh, good. You feel a little better. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Let's see. Let's just see what she said. I strongly believe in exercises of eyes. I will try to find a woman who holds it. I'm not sure. Thank you, Mariana. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it could work. I went to the retinologist. You know, everybody is shaking their head, right? Because you can see where the blood didn't get to the retina. So there was an occlusion, like a little clot. And so there is other healthy vessels. There are other healthy vessels, and some of it could come back. But, you know, I'm not focused on that. I will visualize it. Sometimes I will, but I'm actually getting used to it, you know, because it's made me present. Why have I been holding on to all this information? I used to sell this and I made money, but I don't do that anymore. I'm not looking to make money unless it just finds its way to me. right? So I don't sell that program anymore, which I realized that 500 people know this process and are living a life of wealth, health, and happiness. And they've done it over a 15-year period. Why shouldn't you? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, there's Lachelle. Okay, Lachelle. I stopped into, gosh, what was it? What's that other audio room? That Clubhouse. And saw you were talking about 3 feet from gold. I love that. And look, Charles is here. He's over in Hong Kong. And Charles just did some visiting into Vietnam. Now, my experience personally in Vietnam is an attack in Bien Hoa and ending up in a bunker on the side of the runway with the rockets going off. Right? What happened? The worst part about all of that was I had this beautiful tan from Hawaii, and when I went into the bunker, it scraped off some of the tan. See where my ego was at the time. Oh, hey, Lisa. So good to see you. I'm glad everybody's coming in. Okay, good. And thank you very much. All right, so let's get past this. It's the winter of my contentment. Okay. All right. So we want to take a look at this for just a moment here to take a look at what we've been doing. We've been gone for 2 weeks. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but you can always go back and listen to any of the trainings. And I recommend that you do, because you know from auto suggestion, which we did 2 weeks ago, that this is how we learn in spaced repetitive intervals over time. So you've got to hear it over and over and over again. And while you're hearing it over time, you're growing in awareness. So you start to see new things that you never noticed before. It's a phenomenon. I'm sure that this wasn't in the book before when you pick it up a year later. I know it wasn't, but this is the same book. Or you're in a movie theater and you're watching a movie for the second or for the first time. Then you go back the second time to see the same movie. And there are places that you are sure you never saw before. You didn't. Because the phenomenon of growth in awareness and the different levels of thought frequency, what happens is you're in the movie and it's running, right? And then you daydream. So you go off that thought frequency and you're focused, you only one thought at a time. So you jump onto another thought frequency and you daydream for a little bit, which is normal. And then you come back. So that gap, that movie didn't stop. Right? So when you go back, this happens several times during the movie. This happens in books also. So when you go back to watch it again, you're sure this is new stuff. It's not. You'll daydream at different points. You usually will not daydream at the exact same point unless it's Johnny Depp playing a buccaneer or something like that. And then I might daydream at the same point. Soban, thank you so much for being here. Okay. So today is Imagination, the workshop of the mind. And I want us all to realize that there are 2 kinds of imagination. Let me just look and see what's next here. I have to look at my slides here. Just 1 second. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll bring this up. This is good. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a story about imagination. You may want to have notes, take notes on this. Be listening for something that you recognize. Maybe not exactly, but if it resonates and you're thinking, oh, that feels familiar, this is a good thing. This is the repetition you need as you're growing in awareness. Every time you listen here, you're going to be higher in a higher level of awareness of what's possible for you. So when we're finished with this today, you will actually be at a higher level of emotional intelligence and awareness than you were when you came in. Now, nobody's really measuring other than we're all on this mountain going back up to all, if you will, we're born with everything we need. And then we come down the mountain of life. And at some point when we reach our ground level, we wake up, most of us, and we say, oh my God, is this all there is? And so you begin your journey of transformation, of curiosity, of learning. And if you will visualize with me, at the very top of the mountain is an egg that represents the wholeness and completeness that the universe wants for all of us in love. Every one of us is a piece of the shell, and God and the universe will not be satisfied and at peace until we all reach that point where we started from. So when you reach that place, you begin climbing the mountain of awareness to become one with all there is. Now, along the way, there are vistas. Everybody starts at a different time, but we're all ascending. If you're here, you're ascending. So some are ahead of others. It doesn't matter. You can turn around. Oops. Turn this down. You can turn around at your vista and look down and see other friends coming up the mountain, right? They're on their journey. And you can look up and see other people looking out from other vistas. So the idea is each person, when they're ready and willing, begins this process. All right. So what I want to share with you about imagination, and then I want to tell you this story. There's two kinds of imagination. One is creative imagination, and that is when you get an idea out of the blue, something you've never thought about. Maybe you read something and you get this wackadoodle idea. Like I remember laughing when I heard about drive-through pharmacies. I roared the first time I heard it. They'll never do that. That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. I laughed. It was unbelievable. Where I was in awareness, where the world was, nobody had drive-through pharmacies. It was preposterous. How would they do it? You know, our mind immediately goes to, well, how would we solve it? That's the synthetic imagination. So the idea to have a drive-through pharmacy came to someone, one sound idea, and they'd never had it before, that idea. Immediately, synthetic imagination, all your experiences start to flood your conscious mind with ways that you could do it. Well, this could work, and this could work, and this could work. But overall, all ideas are already here. It just takes someone to think of them, right? And they don't die if you give up. They go to someone else's mind. So then I created a creative thing to me. It's just as preposterous as drive-through pharmacies. I mean, I totally thought that these people had lost their noodle. And I was so sure I was right. So I came up with one, and you're going to laugh, but we take an old car wash. This is drive-through liposuction. It goes very slowly. You move your seat back. The doctor jumps in, does a little lipo. I don't know, maybe you need shots around your mouth to, smooth this out as you're moving through the car wash, right? And then the doctor jumps out, you pay your bill, and you're on your way. Then you can drive around to the other side if it was your right leg that you needed now, or your right arm. Now, it's hilarious. It's ludicrous. It's insane. And yet, so was flying. It was insane. So I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to do, or I do have a friend, Harvey Tuck, who would want to make this into a franchise, the lipo franchise, right? It's ridiculous, isn't it? And yet I visualized this whole thing. Could you see it with me? Did you see it? Did you see it was moving slowly on the rollers, and your seat moved back and the doctor came in, or you hung your arm out? The doctor may need to come in, the nurse, but also you can do it just by hanging your arm or your leg out the window. Silly, I know. All right, so you got two kinds of imagination. One is creative imagination that comes from the universe. All ideas are already here. Just need someone to recognize the idea and fall in love with it enough to take it to its limits, just like with drive-through pharmacies. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. Okay. Excellent. All right. So that's That's what you want to know, okay? Is that there are two kinds. You get the wild idea, it's creative imagination. All ideas are already here. They flow from the universe in the ether to form us through form and back into form. So they come in as an idea, which is thought energy. We think about them, we visualize them, we feel really good about them. Time goes by. We do this in spaced, repetitive intervals over time. That amplitude of vibration is what communicates to the universe, who will send you what you want at that same speed and the feeling. So you could get negative things or positive things. My quote: visualization is the DNA of manifestation. And I'll explain more in a minute. All right, here's the story. I wonder if I'm not going to do the story first. I'm going to do something else first since we're doing this. Okay, look, this is, I'll do the story afterwards. This is a little cattywampus here. Let me just look at this. All right, this is what happens when you take an idea, an old idea, one you failed at, or a brand new one that just popped into your head. There's something that's happening within you. The first thing you want to know, that mind is not the brain. And you're going to hear smart people, people in neuro. I've only met one person who who has a PhD in neuroscience who even knows what the mind does. They are so limited. Now, only one person who understands the science behind how you turn thought energy into physical matter, which is alchemy. They don't know this. So they're coming from a different place. They think that the brain is everything, but mind is an activity. It's a cellular activity, whereas the brain is an organ. The brain is the switching station, the radio. The mind adjusts the channels. That's what we're doing. And the mind has two parts, which you know. One is not thinking, which is reacting from your fears, and then the work we're doing, which is purposeful, positive thinking. So you get the idea, it comes in through your five senses, you start thinking about it. The more frequently you visualize and get giddy about it already being done, those are the messages through intuition that reach the universe. God, the universe, energy, spirit, Buddha, Jesus, Krishna. It doesn't matter. It's one. Can we agree, at least, to the fact that there is one bundle of energetic love that's omnipresent and only wants the best for us, but will give us what we ask for? And what we're thinking about and visualizing and the way we're feeling, we're asking. And whichever feeling is the most dominant, we're going to get. So you imagine it as though it's already done, not out there in the future, but like I'm already in the house I want, or I already have the new car, or whatever it is, or I already have gotten into the university in the program that I want, or I got that job. Right? So that is the magic. And this is the transmutation of radiant energy, which is one of the 7 universal laws, which I also want to teach you. Because when you know the principles of success from Think and Grow Rich and the 7 universal laws, you realize that you don't have a lot to do. It's already created for you, but we just aren't clear as to what we do. And that's why we have to keep looking at this. So the seed, thought energy, is a spiritual seed, which is very much like a physical seed. The seed plants the vibration. Vibration causes the movement. And then the idea, you hold it in your hand. So that this is the process of achievement, of taking an idea, this magnificent gift from the universe, because these ideas are not in your head. They are in the ether. You just don't maybe quite yet know exactly how. And you don't have to know how. You will one day, but you have seen enough evidence that you know that we're connected to the universe, right? That God is with us, or the universe is with us through intuition and imagination, particularly when we go to bed at night. Our fears are quiet and they're snoring, right? And so this is when God can come in on little cat feet into your conscious mind and answer those questions that you went to bed worrying about. You see, during the day, it's very hard to hear the voice of the universe because you've got 6 fears that are squawking. They're not thinking, they're reactions, and most people live most of their lives in that area. Negative, reactive, not using their mind, not thinking, they don't even know what they're doing. Well, then they would at some point begin their journey, right, to connect with all there is. And once we all get up there, the whole egg is completed, God is satisfied. I don't know, I just made it up, but it feels really good. All right. So what I was telling you is that everything is created twice. Now I want you to visualize this, and then I'll go back to the story. Let's see if I can make this a little bit smaller and maybe me a little bit bigger. I don't know. And I have to figure out how to change the size of my cursor because the damn thing keeps disappearing. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, let's see if I can get this. All right. Well, I guess I won't be able to do that. Something very strange is happening here. Interesting. All right. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. Oh, goodness. That is not what I wanted to have happen. Stop. Oh, my God. Okay. Forgive me, you guys. Things are jumping all over my screen. Okay. There we go. All right. 2 seeds. When you get the idea, let's just take Nick as an example. I don't think she would mind. She published on the side as a side gig over a couple of years, 6 books with some 60 authors. They're anthologies. She may have had the idea to start a publishing company, but something happened, maybe just like my stroke. Something happened early this year that had her make a decision. Was it the universe? Well, if you know Nick and you know what's happened over her last 3 months, I think she's very grateful that she made the decision to become a publisher. So she had already begun the process, the idea of having your own publishing company. Now, the minute you get the idea, for me, let's just say it's the drive-through liposuction. Okay, and Dr. Anjan, you can come in from India and make sure everything is done medically properly, okay? Because we'll have to have plenty of insurance, I'm sure. I can see me tripping in the car, etc. Anyway, the minute you get the idea, whatever that idea is, and you visualize it as though you already have it, it's already created in full manifestation. So you've got the idea, which is thought energy, but then you also have the full manifestation already created. Now, the distinction between 2 seeds is the physical seed has to be planted and nourished, right? It's dead on the ground, an acorn, until you plant it. But inside the acorn is not a little oak tree. It's the DNA required to attract to it everything required in that geographic location to sprout an oak tree. And depending on the location, it would take different amounts of time. The difference is that a visualization and that vibration is the DNA of manifestation. However, we can't say exactly the day you'll manifest. The universe decides that. That's another universal law. However, we do set a date because the excitement and the motivation of seeing it in real time, Christmas this year, continues to drive your cellular amplitude of vibration up. So whenever you think about it, again comes the vibration, and it really shoots a message to the universe. Now, what happens to that second? The only difference in a spiritual and a physical seed is that the prediction of when it will happen. Usually we're close. If it's something absolutely huge, it may take longer. But this is the work I've been doing over 15 years. I know how to set a goal, whether you have a big one or how to incrementally set intermittent goals to get a lot done, moving in momentum toward this thing, especially if it's philanthropic, because it's hard to keep motivated over 5 years. And the purpose of a goal is to stay motivated until you achieve it. So that's what this is about. You fall in love with this thing, which we learned in desire. And it's one very specific thing. So the amplitude of vibration is the speed with which you will achieve the goal. The great part about this is that if you're getting close to your goal and you can see, well, I'm not going to hit it on the day I want it, most people give up. That's where 3 feet from gold came, because it really was not up to you. You don't have the ultimate determination of the precise day or how it's going to show up. That's God. So that's one of the 7 universal laws. We've done transmutation of radiant energy, which is thought energy into physical form. And now we're talking about the law of gestation. All seeds take time to grow. So you see, the universe says, well, don't give up now. It's only going to take you another week. If you knew this, you wouldn't give up, right? Okay, it looks like we're going to run a little over, and I hope you don't mind. Stay with me if you like. I'm going to try to get us back to here. All right. This is the story. And I will come back. Imaginative, the soil. I can hardly read this. Okay. Oh, hey, Harvey. I see Harvey is here. Harvey is the franchise guy. No problem. So glad you're here, my friend. I know that you love this one. So let me tell you this story. It's really a perfect example. And we're going to go about 5 minutes over. All right. So be patient with me. I know you have other things to do. So what you're looking at, this is a story of Asa Candler, the clerk, who in the late 1880s, about 50 years before Think and Grow Rich was written, 1937, okay, Asa Candler was a drugstore clerk out in a country town. And what you see here is this old country doctor. He's been doing this for years. And he drives up to the town and hitches his horse and buggy and goes in and starts talking with the clerk, who is Asa Candler. If you look him up, you'll see. Now, they were talking behind the counter for about an hour, whispering to each other, talking and whispering and whispering and talking. And at some point, the old doctor went out to the buggy and brought in this immense cauldron that you see on the right and a big wooden paddle to stir what was in the cauldron, okay? And the clerk, Asa, went back to look at it, and then he reached in his pocket and pulled out a roll of bills, $500, his life savings. Now, remember when this is. This is 1880s, almost 1890. So $500 was quite a little bundle. Now, for the doctor, it was more about the end of his life, the winter, if you will, and he had bills to pay, and he wasn't looking to make a lot of money. He was looking to pay off his bills and enjoy his life, riding around with his horse and buggy, visiting people, embracing his winter. And the clerk took a huge risk. And at that moment, the doctor handed him a small piece of paper with some writing on it. He actually sold him an idea. Okay. It was an idea. With this cauldron and this paddle and this formula, he wove the imaginative idea of what is possible. Now, it just so happens they had no clue the impact that what was in this that would have any impact. It's just like the drive-through prescriptions. We have no idea what the outcome is going to be. But I will tell you, in the interest of time, that what was in the cauldron was the formula for Coca-Cola. And one of the really funny things, and I was going to cite this for you, but I didn't look it up. And Napoleon Hill says, oh, this was a social gathering where, there was no, without any intoxication. But the truth is there was cocaine in there. But see, they didn't know about that intoxication. I don't think they did. Long story short, that Napoleon Hill actually met his wife at one of these events, and he actually partook in the liquid, and he asked her to marry him. Not right then, but anyway, so he was really there when this happened. So the result of that idea, what was on that paper, what happened was the use of imagination and visualization. He must have painted quite a picture. So the important thing for you to know is, I believe that whatever you imagine, and I say without violating the rights of others, but there are people who do it the other way, and it's through repetition, repeating the same thoughts and hearing the same thing over and over again that embeds it as reality. So it could be positive or negative, but you can see that vibration, the way you feel, is what drives results to you, because you are a co-creator and so am I. God or the universe is part of us. It's not like the universe or spirit is above us handing things down. They're handed down through your conscious awareness, through your intuition and your imagination. You got that wild idea? That's creative imagination. For Nick, she had already thought about this. So immediately when she had that opportunity, she started driving it into existence with synthetic imagination, with all the experience that she'd had over the last couple of years publishing her own and also being part of others. So you realize that creative imagination, that idea is from the ether. It wasn't in your head. It was a gift. Whether or not you are excited enough by it to stay motivated to achieve it is another story. So you have to be all in with a definite purpose. And usually those ideas that we've never done before and that come out of the blue are good ones. And they're only one sound idea. Really, this idea of what was in the cauldron, it wasn't such a big idea. It was a formula with 2 or 3 things in it. But what did that doctor sell to Asa Candler? And the result, to this day, bottlers and people have been flourishing from Coca-Cola since that cauldron and that purchase for $500 occurred. Okay, let's see, here we are. Absolutely. So nothing happens without action. Good point. Because let's put it this way. The action, this is a good point, Nick. Thanks for doing that. The action is taking 2 steps every week. You can't just sit there and imagine and visualize. Look at it this way. What you want is moving toward you at the same amplitude of vibration that you're moving toward it or you're thinking about it. So if you're sitting on the couch visualizing, what you want is sitting on its couch. If you get up off your tail, it'll get up off its tail. If you drag your feet as the action, what you want will drag its feet. So the velocity with which your cells vibrate and you move into action will match the velocity of that second full iteration coming to you. That was a great share. Let me just see here if there's anything else, and then we'll finish up. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Ashif. Hey, look at there's Professor Roxana. So glad you're here. Hi. Sandra, we've got a LinkedIn user. Let's just guess. I don't know. Let's pretend that that's Jenlin. We're going to say it's Jenlin just for the fun of it. And I don't know who the good evening is. That would be on the other side of the world. Okay. So now what you've had today is, and you know, what you've seen is that there are two kinds of imagination. It's all done with your mind. Visualization kind of is the juice, the excitement required to send the message to the universe, hey, this is where I'm headed. And you'll get all the help you want. And if it's negative, you'll get all your help for that too. And the story of this enchanted kettle, one sound idea was all it required. 1 hour conversation for Asa Candler to take a risk and give up his life savings of $500. And it all had to do with imagination. And I actually hear sales in the background for myself. Right. So we looked at this. Next week, we're going to go to decision. Decision is the opposite of procrastination. And what I'll tell you right now, your definite purpose will alleviate procrastination and make decisions easy. So that's what we're going to do next week, is that remember this definite, clear, singular, compelling goal, this thing that you want. If you're very clear about what it is, why you want it, when you want it, what you'll do to get it, that nothing will get in your way, no fear, no nothing. You are the one. Decisions become very easy. And procrastination is the biggest bad habit we humans have, but it's so easy to alleviate it with definite purpose. So once you get that, you're never stuck in analysis paralysis again, because you simply refer back to your purpose. All right, everybody, back in the saddle. Monday, Mind Over Matter Mondays. We're going to do this again with my lovely co-host, Nicole Angai Galindo. This is when you can come on stage and we'll come up with a mind over matter practice. Something that has us all thinking, asking questions, and learning. And we want you to come up on stage. Because remember, when you listen to other people articulate the way they see it, it can resonate with you. Not everybody resonates with everybody. Some people you just don't like listening to, right? So that's it for today. Yeah, we're a little bit over. I'm going to see if I can get the music back up here. Oh, well, here's another one. Let's just do this one. Okay, everybody, have a fabulous weekend. See you Monday at 10 a.m. A little traveling music for your weekend. Embrace your season, whatever it is. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on a morning star? Somebody thought of that and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. And what's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and you and me. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet song that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll all find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Da 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 dee, ba da 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 da, dee da dee. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. A beautiful May, and I'm excited to be back. Thank you for being here.